Namo Vaha. Welcome to the series Janamahi Bharatam. That means let us know India. Knowing about India also means knowing about the nourishing language of Indian culture, that is Samskrita. In today's piece of video, we are going to see the word of words in Sanskritam, athava Sanskritasya Shabdalokaha. How do these words emerge? What is their basement? What are the suffixes we have? And what is the possibility of expansion of the ocean of Sanskrit vocabulary? So basically, we have 4 points today. One is dhatu, then ting pratyayaha, and then krit pratyayaha, and then nishpadyaha. So without further ado, we will move with the first point, that is dhatu. Dhatu is the very fundamental idea or fundamental component of any word in Sanskrita. There are around 1700 roots in Sanskrit, and those roots are broadly classified into 10 groups or gana. We call them gana in Sanskrita. Those ganas or groups are these: Bhwad, Dyadadi, Juhotyadi, Divadis, Svadirevacha, Tudadischa, Rudhadischa, Tanak, Churadayaha. And you can see the beautiful image of Nataraja, which is one of the epithets of Shiva. Depiction of Shiva is so significant in any grammar class or anything that pertains to the world of words in Sanskrita, because the world of words emerged from this Nataraja. It is not only the grammar or the language that emerged from Shiva according to Indian tradition. Most of the art forms in India, they find their origin in Shiva. So these 1700 roots are further classified based on various nature of them into Vet, Sate, and Anit. That means the words or the dhatus or roots which attract idagama under the grammatical process, they are called Sate Dhatavaha. Common example for Sate Dhatu will be Bhu Dhatu, Patha Dhatu, or Chiti Samjnane Dhatu. These roots you have already heard. And then you have Anit Dhatavaha. That means, as the name itself tells, these dhatus, they do not attract idagama under the grammatical process. So Kru Dhatu, Krinati Rupa, and Prinati Printarpane Dhatu. These are some of the Anit Dhatus. As these Anit Dhatus are less in number, they are listed out in this chaplet or shloka or versification. This is called Karika or Anit Karika. One who wants to remember all these Anit Dhatus, he can or she can memorize these Karikas. And then you have Vet Dhatu, Va It. I mean, under the grammatical process, at times these dhatus, they attract idagama and sometimes they do not. For example, Swarati, Marshti, Klidyati, these dhatus. There are a few other dhatus also, and Vet dhatus are also very few in number. So it is codified under some karikas. Then further classification of dhatus will be Sakarmaka, Akarmaka, and Dvikarmaka Dhatavaha. Sakarmaka dhatus are those, or Sakarmaka roots, they're transitive roots in English. That means they attract a direct karma or object in a sentence, like Karoti, Pashyati, Pathati. And then Akarmaka Dhatavaha, intransitive roots. Some examples for them will be Bhavati, Hasati, or Snati. And then apart from that, you have Dvikarmaka Dhatavaha. As the name itself suggests, these roots, they can have two objects in a sentence simultaneously, like Nayati, Prichhati, Dogdhi. For example, if it is Prachhadatu, then Prachhati is Lat Lakara Rupa, Chhatraha, Adhyapakam, Prashnam Prachati. Here two objects you can see, that is Adhyapakam and Prashnam. Further classification will be Atmanepada, Parasmaipada and Ubhayapada. Atmanepada dhatus are Edha dhatu, Kampate iti rupam or Bhash dhatu. Parasmaipada dhatus, best example will be Bhavati, Pashyati and Pathati. Usually we use these root forms. And then Ubhayapadinaha, they appear in both Parasmaipada and Atmanepada. Pachati or Pachate, Vandati or Vandate, Karoti or Kurute. So this is largely about dhatus, number of roots and their classification and their sub-classification. These dhatus or roots in Sanskrita can attract two sorts of pratyayas. One is ting pratyaya, another one is krit pratyaya. Let's see ting pratyaya at the outset. Ting pratyayas, when they are attached to the roots, they produce kriya padani or verbs. Every verb has 10 forms expressing tenses and modes, each comprising of 3 persons, that is first, second and third. In Sanskrita we call them as Prathama Purusha, Madhyama Purusha and Uttama Purusha. So let's calculate a minimum approximate number of pure root forms in Sanskritam. That would be 1700 base roots into 10 lakaras or modes or tenses as such, and then 3 root purushas and then 3 vachanas. Together it produces 1,53,000 base root forms, and those lakaras are classified into 10 as lat vartamane late vede bhute lunglang litastatha vidyashishautu linglotau lut lrit lrincha bhavishyati. And then apart from these base dhatus, we have some other dhatus which are not directly mentioned in any dhatupata, but they are there in usage. There are 12 different suffixes other than ting pratyayas which can be attached to the roots. They produce fresh roots standing for distinct meaning or mode. So these pratyayas are called sanadi pratyayaha. Sankyach kamyach kyamkyashotha charakvit nijyanau tatha yagaya iyang ningcheti dvadashami sanadayaha. So these pratyayas also can be attached to roots and they produce fresh set of roots further. So then let's see an approximation. What would be the number of possible root forms in Sanskrita? It is just an approximation. As all the 1700 roots cannot be attached to all the 12 sanadi suffixes, we can reduce the number of possible atideshika roots to an approximation of 50% of the number of original roots. So 1700 divided by 2 is 850, half only we are considering, and 850 into 12 pratyayas, that produces you 10,200 new root forms. And these root forms added to the original root forms, that is 1700, together it produces 11,900 base root forms. And then number of dhatu rupani, that is 11,900 into 10 lakaras into 3 purushas into 3 numbers. That produces a huge number, that is 10,07,100 verb forms or dhatu rupani. In order to understand the vastness of this ocean of vocabulary, you must compare it with the languages of words, especially with English, which is actually enjoying the stature of lingua franca currently in the world. So English has approximately 60,000 to 1 lakh verb forms. In Oxford Dictionary recently, 1,70,000 words. In the new version of Oxford Dictionary, you can find 1,70,000 words, the total number of words. Here in Sanskrita, we have 10,07,100 verb forms. Forget about nouns. So let's move to the further set of pratyayas which can be attached to dhatus, that is krit pratyayaha. There is another set of suffixes which can be attached directly to the roots, namely krit pratyayaha. They are classified under three categories: kartra pratyayaha, karma pratyayaha, and bhavavachaka pratyayaha. They are of course 12 or 19 in number. So that's 1700 base roots into 19 different krit pratyayas, that produces 32,300 nouns. And then these nouns, they must be attached with sup pratyayaha, because sup suffixes, they bring parinishtitatva or perfection to all the kradantas. In other terms, all the kradantas are to be affixed with sup without fail in order to attain the usability. Sup are of course 21 in number, so 32,300 into 21 sup pratyayas, that produces a huge number of 6,78,300 number of direct original noun forms. Apart from this, there are possibilities of other sorts of nouns. Those are called nishpadyaha or derivable. These pratyayas are called tadhita. Tadhita suffixes are a set of suffixes which the nouns can be attached with. These suffixes produce thousands of base nouns further. For example, these tadhitas, they have category. I have just taken three categories of tadhita pratyayas: apatya pratyayas, madhvarthiya pratyayas, and shaishika pratyayas. It goes on. And in addition to this, Sanskrit has something called stri pratyayaha, which turns masculine nouns into feminine. So if it is Rama Shabda, if you attach a stri pratyaya, that is ta, the word will become Rama. Ramaha is Pullinga and Ramaha is Strilinga. In this manner, number of words which can be produced is, it is beyond the count. And then you have compound samasa. Samasa or the compounds are the combination of two or more words. Again, you have category in samasas also: avyayi, bhava, tatpurusha, bahuvihi, and dvandva. These are major categories under which again you have subcategories. So ultimately, the ocean of vocabulary is so high or so vast in Sanskrita that it is not easy to calculate the number of words. Here is an interesting piece of news. 60 years later, Sanskrit dictionary stuck in first letter. This was the report appeared in the year 2010. This project has already taken over 60 years and could not easily take another. Could easily take another 100 years or more. This is one of the major projects. This news piece appeared in the year 2010 regarding the most complicated lexicographic work or Sanskrit dictionary project taken up by the Deccan College, Pune, in Maharashtra. It was commissioned in the year 1948. Lack of manpower is one of the issue, of course, but at the same time, it is also telling you about the vastness of Sanskrit vocabulary. This is just small speck of the broader picture of Sanskrit vocabulary. So we will see the further ideas in the upcoming video. Till then, take care. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you.